Welcome, Wapham crew, guys, gals, ghouls, friends, fiends, foes, whoever may be listening beyond the Omniverse tonight. Secure your tinfoil hats, buckle down tight, and hold on loosely as we soar over the rocky tops of the La Platas on a rocky mountain high, get sucked into the vortex of the Four Corners, and settle down snugly at mile marker 420 in colorful Colorado. It is Saturday, November 9th, Sunday, November 10th, for those of you across the pond and beyond. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to you, and welcome to We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in Rockies. I'm your host, TessaTNT, and we are broadcasting live from the Mile High Clubhouse tonight. If you're listening live right now, you may be listening to us on Spreaker.com under We Are Paradox Media. You can also find us on KPNL Radio, which you can find at KPNL Radio at kpnl-db.com, as well as eTalk Radio, which you can find at etalk.tv/radio. So unfortunately, well, number one, sorry for being late. My internet just really sucks. If you don't have internet, don't get CenturyLink because it's just been issue after issue after issue. All right, let me check my sound and everything. The other bad news is, so StreamYard has decided to go ahead and switch things up. So, they boosted me up to the package that I had before. So I had it where I was broadcasting to Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook at the same time. If I wanted more, then I was supposed to upgrade. Only 50 hours, I think it's per month, of video. And there was something else that they had on there. Oh, you could do like an intro video or whatever on your show. Well, they hiked it up to $44.99, and I was like, I do not think so. So I got a hold of them, told them to give me a refund and just close my package. Like, I don't want to do it anymore. So they gave me the refund, but they did not close my account. So I'm still able to get onto YouTube, just not Facebook or Twitch. So yeah, that sucks. And when I was looking on their website, it was saying it's not $44.99, it's $34.99. So I don't even know why they were trying to jack me up like that. I don't get it. It's just not good customer service ethics, if you ask me. But if you want to listen in your free time, whether you're working it or working out, please listen at basically any venue you listen to any of your podcasts at. And we'll be glad to be there for you here in earballs. What else? Yeah, I had everything set up on here, ready to go. 10 minutes prior to show, internet goes out again. I'm like, geez, Pete, thanks a lot, Century Stink. So let me get back up here. Share this screen. So, as you all know, we're doing Trippy TikToks with me, TessaTNT. Let me make sure I'm in the right place. And I was about to say, I know I got more videos than that on there. All right, so you guys are ready to get in it? Because I am. I don't like being late. It's quite bothersome, if you ask me. Okay. Look at it load. That's a lot. All right, let's get on with our first one.
What if the world around you is shaped by secret societies and the occult? Celebrities like Madonna and Ashton Kutcher are into Kabbalah. Kabbalah is ancient Jewish mysticism that teaches you how to tap into secret spiritual forces to alter reality. And Tom Cruise's involvement...
Oh no. Hey, show Tom Cruise and it messes up your feed. Come on.
Scientology goes way beyond a self-help club. Scientology believes in thetans, immortal beings that are trapped in human bodies, but it goes even deeper. L. Ron Hubbard, Scientology's founder, was involved in occult rituals inspired by Thelema. Thelema was founded by Aleister Crowley, a guy so controversial they nicknamed him the wickedest man in the world. He deeply influenced today's music scene. Led Zeppelin's Jimmy Page even bought Crowley's mansion and used his symbols on album covers. Crowley's influence can be seen everywhere, from rock music like Black Sabbath to his symbol, the unicursal hexagram, being used in fashion. But it's not just pop culture. The founding fathers, including George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and Paul Revere, they were all Freemasons. The Statue of Liberty was even designed by a Freemason. Some even say it represents Lucifer the light bearer because in occult symbolism, Lucifer is the bringer of enlightenment. Look closely, she's holding a torch, literally bringing the light. What if the world around you is shaped by secret societies and the occult?
And also, if you look at the Statue of Liberty, let me see if I can fast forward it here. Little further. Let's go a little further. So there is a portrait of Satan, and it's quite old, as you can imagine. And I'm not saying it was Satan himself, but who knows, really. But he looks just like the Statue of Liberty, or she looks just like him. Either way you want to put it, they look like each other, so that to me was pretty interesting.
Torch literally bringing the light. What if the world around you is shaped by secret societies and the occult?
This right here is one of the many reasons why I have a major problem with the entertainment industry. Just around a week ago, New York Fashion Week took place and a lot of influencers had on these same exact sunglasses. Supposedly when wearing these sunglasses in photos, it allows your face to be slightly blurred so that people can't use deepfake technology. The weird thing about it is that they constantly had security coming up to these influencers telling them to take the glasses off. And then when you take into consideration how much AI technology has advanced within these past couple of years, it makes you wonder what these paparazzi are really using these pictures for. Just pay attention to how weird it gets when the security keeps coming back and forth. And y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments.
Is that Drew Barrymore?
Apparently the brand
I can't tell who that is.
Sunglasses is a brand by the name of Neothrone, who claim that they use AI to AI facial recognition systems to prevent deepfakes. They do this by using Fox anti-surveillance technology. Fox AI project was developed to protect citizens against unregulated AI technology. Over the years, social media sites continue to use our face without our knowledge or consent to build facial recognition models. Dr. Ivan Kashmek, a former professor at the University of Michigan, was researching ways to find out how to use AI against itself. He experimented with AI technology that crippled other AI facial recognition systems. He had feared that the AI were getting too complex and strong because they started to talk to one another in a language that it was too hard for humans to decipher. Now it's weird because whenever you look up Dr. Ivan from the University of Michigan, the only person that pops up is a guy who in 1991. Seems pretty weird, but y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments.
I can't say I know for sure what happened to Dr. Ivan Katzenberg, but I know if his research ever made it mainstream, then a lot of these big tech AI firms probably wouldn't exist because it would directly combat the training. And if I was that influencer, I would have told that security guard that I would take off my glasses as soon as you take off those white Hirachis with that.
This right here is one of the
styling and profiling.
Is the ice wall from Game of Thrones based on anything real, or is there anything on Earth like it today? Well, that top image is the ice wall from Game of Thrones, and the bottom is Russia. Yeah, that's in Russia. The Lena Pillars, or as some people call that area, the Yakuta Wall, are in the Sakha region of Russia. I hope I pronounced that right. And when there's snow in that area, it looks like this. You know, that's not the ice wall from Game of Thrones. That's the Lena Pillars. A massive natural rock formation that looks breathtaking with or without snow on it. Now, I'm not saying someone made it in northern Russia to keep the White Walkers out, but doesn't it? I mean, look at it. Doesn't that look like the Game of Thrones wall? I mean, come on. It's almost the same thing. Is it a coincidence? I don't know. But it sure is fishy. Okay, Bushkis.
You have to ask some Rushkis.
Freemasons wear this symbol, which is the same symbol for Gmail. The G is the Masonic G. The M is for the mother, because the woman holds a portal, a stargate into the physical world. That's why they wear it in the genital area. The mother makes you into matter. All M's. Once you are made into matter in the womb, she then delivers the male. Every single one of us came through the mother into the physical world. That's why they're so important. Feminine, nin is 9. Masculine, lin is line. 1 and 9 adds up to 10, which is the binary code of all creation. 0 is the cosmic womb. 1 is the masculine pillar. These are the only two numbers that truly exist. That's why man adds up to 10, and so does Adam. Because we are made in perfection with the numbers. 6, 9. 6 is physical matter, the cube. 9 is spirit, spirit and matter combined. The woman combines your spirit with your physical body. If you feel lost and don't understand reality, read these books. Freemasons were...
I don't know if I will, but that's pretty interesting.
This story is neither confirmed nor denied.
I have to say, I love these guys' costumes, the way they all go together. And look at the mane on this guy. Pretty cool.
But apparently, during the Soviet days, they did an experiment to see if you were to keep someone sleep deprived, how long you could keep them sleep deprived, and what they would do.
Are you talking about the Russian sleep experiment?
Yeah.
It's so scary.
So, maybe 7 people. They were put in a room, and anytime they would get sleepy, blasting lights, music, so like you literally could not sleep. Started going crazy.
Right.
And they're screaming, and they're like going manic, and then there's one point where all of them were just silent.
Oh my gosh.
And so they looked, none of them are sleeping, they're all just sitting. And now they're a little concerned of their psychosis.
Now they are, yeah.
Now, because they were just blank.
Right.
And they're like, okay, well, we're going to inject you so that you can sleep. And they barred the doors and said, no, we don't want to sleep. They're hearing voices now, and there's like entities talking to them.
What the
And they're like, if we sleep now, we'll lose them. But, like, a doctor came in, and they ripped him to shreds, killed him. They said that if I go to sleep, I'll die.
They were dying, weren't
Apparently, one died when he fell asleep. His last words were like, I was so close to freedom.
Yeah.
they? What was freedom?
I don't know. This story is...
Show that to your local tweaker. Probably think you're lying to him.
Please understand, what I'm about to show you is not meant to embarrass anyone who is in the geological field, a scientist, or a strong proponent of atheistic evolution. Let me show you. This right here is from a sewer or water pipe in Karlovy Vary in the Czech Republic. For 70 years, water goes through this, and friends, that is argonite. It's a mineral that turned into stone. May I prove it?
So is that poo water crystallized or what? Because he's touching it with his bare hands. Ew.
If the Earth is billions
Was
of
it just
years
like
old
calcium and
and
other
rocks
minerals?
are hundreds of million years old, how is it that we can see this naturally forming in nature, although it being a iron pipe, an accumulation of 3/4 of an inch within 70 to 80 years of water just naturally flowing? Doesn't this suggest that rock can form quickly? And
I think so. I'm curious what the
the
and
film
was.
that was taken out of the Dulce facility. Why would somebody...
So I've been curious about this place for a while. I've seen videos of this place. Like, it just looks like everybody up and took off one day. There's nobody there. Perfectly good buildings. You hear certain stories about it, but I don't know. It's pretty trippy. I want to go there someday. I don't know if that's asking for trouble to do a paranormal investigation there, but curiosity killed the cat, they say. So let's see.
make pictures like this showing the creation of some sort of alien being. And this is a facility. This is a facility that's run by the United States government. I mean, with your tax money. Hamilton talked about the Dulce facility, and I've also heard about, genetic engineering programs at Area 51.
Yeah, there's no question that Dulce exists. I was the one that kind of led the research on that. I was at a meeting in Crestone, Colorado, and Tom Adams handed me a letter from a lady who lives in Las Vegas, and she was the one that tipped us off that this thing existed. So I talked to her, and she knew the location of some photos and videotape that had been taken inside Dulce by a guard who escaped during what they call the Dulce Wars of 1979. He used to contact her every 6 months, and he said, if I ever miss contacts 2 in a row for a year, you can go after this box, which they had hidden somewhere here in Nevada, that contained 6 minutes of videotape, 25 black and white photos, and some other documentation about what went on in Dulce. About 2 years ago, he did turn up missing. We never heard from him. And I think there was like 12 or 13 attempts after the box, but it had been hidden maybe at least 10 years ago in the terrain and the foliage and everything changed. I don't think they ever got it out.
He said in level 5 he'd walk on by and people would be in cages and screaming, begging for help, and he was told to walk straight on through and not look or pay attention.
Yeah.
These people are all mad.
I heard that. And then from another source, Air Force
Not our
engineering
government.
source, I heard that when he went there, they referred to it as Section D. Then Bob heard it referred to when he was up at the test site just once, and somebody said, mentions something about it being shipped to Tulsa, but that's the only reference he ever heard to it.
Now, I call these, the guys who are working in the facility as Igors, the invisible government's obedient robotons. But it really is a Frankenstein factory.
If this is true and there's actually an underground alien base at Dulce and they ask me to work there, I don't care how much money they offer. I'm saying no, I would rather be the mailman at Area 51.
In the film,
You've seen the telekinesis videos.
Then I have to say,
Right. Well, explain this one.
pretty interesting. So we've watched this video before, but I just wanted to see it again. The only time I've seen this in effect in real life was in, I believe it was 96 or 97 at school. We got a new girl. I don't know where she came from. But she was able to control the wind. And we're like, yeah, right. But she was able to shift it and everything. It was trippy. Guy off in the distance. What's this feller doing? Are you the boy that painted my cat's butt blue? Oh, what about this driver? Oh man, imagine what they're thinking.
I have seen a lot of these and I have never once questioned whether it was fake or not. Of course they're fake. But this one has me questioning it. I'm like, wait, okay, how do you fake that? What do you guys think?
I think you're a hardcore believer in flat earth. How do you not believe in telekinesis? That's my thoughts. My sentiments.
I recently travelled to the other side of the world, to Rapa Nui, aka Easter Island, to go and investigate how old the Moai are. Could they be older? Where do they come from? I needed to see them with my own eyes. And I specifically wanted to see a very particular Moai that I've seen all the time on the internet, the one with the intricate carvings on its back that looks very similar to the carvings, the stone carvings that are coming out of the ground in ancient Turkey. Is there any way that they could possibly be connected? They're on the other side of the world. They're separated supposedly by 10,000 years. What's the crack? And what I discovered was really interesting. So just for reference, if you didn't know, this is Pillar 43 in Göbekli Tepe, a 12,000, maybe older temple found in Turkey. And this is the back of a Moai statue on Easter Island. And people have been pointing out that there's very similar iconography, similar stonework. There's sort of two birds with a circular thing in between them. There's like a line where there's the belt, there's a scorpion on one side and there's a kind of M shape, like the M of the scorpion on the
Masons.
other. Potentially at the top of the head are these like a row of bags. Are these a row of bags? I can see how there's a sort of familiarity, there's a sisterhood between these two bits of rock. Okay, so when I got to the island, I was asking the tour guide, where's the Moai with all the cool stuff on the back? He said it's in the British Museum. Yeah, it was stolen by the British in like the 1800s and it's currently in the British Museum. So I travelled 20 hours on a flight. Took me 2 days all the way to the other side of the world to see something that was in my hometown. I was wrong. So I wanted to do a public service announcement to say that all these photos that you see online of really decorative Moai on Easter Island, They're modern replicas. These are dotted around like the houses and the bars. Any moai that is on the island, they're all weather eroded, deeply weather eroded, and you cannot really make out anything on the backs. I don't agree that the British Museum or the British should have stolen this moai, and I definitely think they should give it back. However, the fact that it has been kept sort of safe in a glass enclosure for the last 200 years has meant that we do have a pretty good surviving artifact, whereas a lot of the other stonework on Rapa Nui Island, it's eroding fast. This is a photo that I took of the back of a moai on Easter Island, and you can see there's nothing. The weather erosion on this type of stone, most of them are made out of volcanic tuff, and it is quickly weathered away by wind, rain, wet weather, and the climate has moved into a wetter period in the last 1,000 years. So they are quickly disappearing. This photo is from 1914, so just over 100 years ago, and this is from 2011. And you can see in just 100 years, in the modern wet weather, the stonework it's eroding pretty fast. Now, from the 50s, there were some major excavations on Rapa Nui, and you can see here just how pristine the statues are when they are underground because they've been preserved. And you can also see size-wise, look how freaking huge they are compared to like fully grown humans. Today, you can't see this because they've put all the ground back. They sort of excavated them, carbon dated the area, and then they've put it back in situ as was. So you can't see any of this today, which again I was a bit disappointed at, but I prefer that they're kept nice and safe and warm in the ground. Now, come back for part 2 because I'm going to do a whole video explaining the carbon dating and the timeline of the moai, because just how old are the moai is a massive question, and I think I have an answer. So come back because this video is way too long. Right, there we go.
So these are like the Easter Island head thingies, aren't they? That they said people moved into place. I don't know. Does this make you think of the mud flood at all? How much dirt and sediment is covering that large of an amount of a statue? We have this with buildings and all kinds of things, underground cities, tunnels, etc. It's insane.
There's pyramids everywhere, right? Not just Egypt.
All over the world. Everywhere, all over the world, no matter where you go. Why? Because a master architect laid down the blueprint, and we find this in the Emerald Tablets, where Thoth tells his crew that once we finish rebuilding the land of Kim, I want you to spread out and duplicate what we did here. So that's the foundation tablet that tells you, hey, spread out and go out and duplicate what happened here. So this is why you see the same structures all over the world.
Are there any in the U.S., you guys think?
Oh, yeah, there's some structures in the U.S. In Michigan, where you're from.
Really? In Michigan?
Yeah, there's a henge.
Stonehenge, right?
There's a Stonehenge underneath the
Lake Michigan.
Lake Michigan. Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, and guess what's carved into the stone? The pillars, like mastodons and animals and stuff. So this is really ancient. It's like the Michigan henge.
There's pyramids.
Trippy. A lot of things are underwater for sure. A lot more things are going to be underwater. Come on, Century Stink.
This involves aliens. A couple days ago, there was a whistleblower talking about this program in the Pentagon, an undisclosed head organization over UAP, UFO. This thing is called the Immaculate Constellation. So this whistleblower went to Congress. Congress went to the Department of Defense, and they said, "I know that you have a undisclosed organization." They responded like, "No, we don't have the Immaculate Constellation." And they said, "We never said that." So now they are holding a congressional hearing on November 13th. There are going to be witnesses that come forward to divulge all. I truly feel that there is going to be a great deception that is about to happen. The faked alien invasion. What that ushers in is potentially a one world government. But there's people like Lou Elizondo and David Grush. They're saying there's an imminent threat. And I think these guys are fully planned because he said something along the lines of it's imminent and I wish we had more time. Time is so valuable. I feel like they're setting the stage. So when something happens,
they offer a solution.
Yes. This involves aliens.
What is the solution? Get a haircut and get a real job. But till I gotta, I don't wanna. Man. Yeah, I barely got towers down there. Let's go, LETSGO. Just making sure I turned off the Wi-Fi on my phone.
Hollywood and celebrities in general are just falling apart right in front of our faces.
So apparently P. Diddy is not the only one that's in trouble. They was interviewing Kim K this morning. The feds done pulled her to a side and was asking her some questions, Buki. I never thought I would be a part of the generation that would witness the fall of Hollywood. When Cat Williams said that the truth was going to come out in the year of 2024, he really wasn't lying, because everything is starting to come to a head. And how convenient is it that the head of everything gets put in jail and all the little small heads behind him starting to get out too about what they was doing at them parties? And allegedly, the list has gotten longer of all the people that attended those so-called freak-offs. And if y'all haven't noticed, there's a lot of CEOs and business owners and pastors that are stepping down from their positions because of the potential information that could come out. Just because you step down from your position, that doesn't mean that you're still not going to be held accountable. You're still going to be held accountable. Stepping down is not going to help you. This is just a prime example of what happens when you run with the devil for so long, and then everything that you was doing finally catches up with you, and God says, you ready for your judgment? Because that's what was waiting on you. Like, the devil only take you so far, baby. He wasn't there to help you in the beginning. He was there to lead you to your own self-destruction.
Stay
Look
weird,
what y'all
y'all.
at your own self-destruction.
Hollywood.
Self-destruct motion.
You can go.
Oh, hell no. There's paranormal scary, there's conspiracy scary, there's real life, like in the flesh or the fur scary.
Go on.
Weird fruit fly.
This man, Rod, is face to face with a mountain lion. His voice calm, he whispers, "You can go," but the lion
Stop
doesn't
shaking
budge.
that camera.
Commenters say, if not friend, why friend-shaped? But let's be real, this isn't a kitty you'd want to pet. Most people would be long gone by now, but Rod, he stands face to face with an apex predator. His camera is steady, barely a shake.
Don't walk or run away, it's going to come after
Respect
you.
the steady cameraman.
You have to keep
but this isn't
facing
a
it.
house cat with friendly
Walk
intentions.
backwards.
One
Keep eye
commenter reminds
contact.
us, if you see it, it's seen you for 10 minutes. And as Rod whispers, "You can go," the lion's gaze doesn't waver, almost as if it's thinking, "No, you go first." It's a moment of raw tension, and no one watching can say for sure what
It
will
looks
happen
like
next.
it could be young. Like it's not a cub, but could be like an adolescent.
Standing this close to a mountain lion, it's something most people could only imagine, and most
He
would be
just
out of
seems
there
so
in seconds.
confused. Were you somebody's
Some viewers
pet?
joke saying, "I'd puma my pants."
Its ears don't
But
go
Rod,
back.
he stands firm, capturing every
Hasn't
tense moment on camera. The cat stares back,
yelled at him or
seemingly
nothing?
sizing him up, and commenters can't help but speculate, that cat was debating whether you were worth the risk. Imagine standing still while a predator calculates its next move, claws poised to strike if it chose. Who's the brave one here, Rod or the cat?
I'd be Puma in my pants. For real.
It is hard to believe, but he has actually done it. The man walking across America barefoot has officially crossed the finish line. And the first thing that he did was put on a pair of shoes. It took him a staggering 8.5 months to walk from LA all the way to New York, walking through snow, desert, rocks, broken glass, and even metal pins. But despite all the pain, his reason for doing this, raising awareness for men's mental health, pushed him through all of it. He has now set the Guinness World Record for the longest distance ever walked barefoot. So, sir, on behalf of everyone watching and all of the people that you've helped through doing this, we salute you. It is hard to believe, but he is actually
Amazing.
This is the rock that God made water pour out of in the book of Exodus. It's known as the Rock of Horeb and is located near Mount Sinai, close to Jebel al-Lawz in Saudi Arabia. In the book of Exodus, God instructed Moses to strike the rock at Horeb, and miraculously, water poured out to sustain the people. The erosion patterns around its base are still visible, suggesting that a tremendous volume of water once flowed from it. Additionally, the surrounding stones are visibly smoothed and flattened, consistent with the powerful rush of water needed to sustain a large group of people. The rock was discovered by archaeologists in the 1980s in a region where other significant biblical landmarks were found, such as Mount Sinai, the Red Sea crossing, and where the Battle of Rephidim was thought to have taken place. Due to the rock's size and location, which match the Bible's description perfectly, as well as the nearby significant landmarks and clear signs of water erosion, has led many to believe that this is the real Rock of Horeb that is mentioned in the Bible.
I also wanted to show you guys something. This is the rock that I was found under when I was a baby. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's pretty interesting. It's like, how do they know? There was another video that I watched that was like, this is the rock that Jesus Christ ascended from when he went to heaven. How do you know? There was like footprint and stuff in it. I don't know. It's very confusing.
This is the rock that God...
Pay attention to the lower
I guess you just gotta have
right-hand
faith.
corner. You're going to see something come into the field of view that looks like, you guessed it, a white cylinder object in the daytime sky that just cruises across the freeway. See the shadow over here? Leaves a shadow on the ground that tells us the sun was up here in the upper left-hand part of the field of view, and the shadows are consistent on the craft. You can see the dark side of the craft is over here on the right, same side as the shadow on the ground, so it's definitely there, whatever it may be. Looks like the other cylinders that we saw in the other locations, Indiana, Las Vegas, and Michigan. But this view here was up closer, actually above the craft, looking down from the sky. If I had to guess, I'd say that's somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 40 feet long. Has some sort of weird features coming off of the sides. They don't look like they're moving. You don't see a propeller on the top or on the sides. Pay attention to the lower right-hand corner.
Pretty trippy. There's all kinds of different craft. It's so weird.
You see this stuff in America. You know what's really weird? All the state capitol buildings that don't really match up. Like, why did they build something that was straight out of ancient Rome in, like, Iowa? You know, like in Nebraska.
2,500 people live in a town somewhere, and they build a post office that has 700 rooms and is like an ancient castle. It's the same like with the Mormon temple where they said they went out to Utah, you know, with horse and buggy and nobody else out there, and they supposedly built this wonder of the world castle with no rails and no dump trucks and no cranes, and it goes down 40 to 60 feet underground with more building. And
even think about like the 1 year timelines. A lot of these buildings are 1 year wonders where they created this very elaborate stone building in 1 year. But then you think about some of these places that have 1 year timelines, and then they work in like Syracuse, you know, Albany, Syracuse, New York, these crazy places like that. Explain to me how much work they're getting done in the dead of winter when the roads would have been horrible. Then you add snow on it, and then the logistics make no sense. Even think, like I said, go back to World War II. We're told that the Germans were not necessarily defeated by the Russian army. They were defeated by the Russian winter. Yeah. Because even with the high-tech German stuff, they couldn't even move the equipment during a harsh Russian winter. Mm-hmm. So that is like the highest tech stuff in the 40s. And then you're talking about these things were built with horses and buggies in the 1840s.
Maybe it's just difficult for us to imagine that they built these buildings in the 1800s because since we've all been alive, we've had access to advanced machinery. But even then, they must have been feeding their Clydesdale straight raw eggs and protein.
You see this stuff.
There was a picture that my son saw of like a giant horse next to some old farmers. Like, it was huge. Like the people were here at its shoulder, and it was gigantic compared to a Clydesdale. But was it real? I don't know.
Caught asleep behind the wheel with
I know
a
they're
crack
huge,
pipe
but not
in
that
his
huge.
hand. This is in Rhode Island. A concerned passerby saw him and called police. Even officers seemed shocked by what they found. You're a councilman in Cranston, smoking crack.
The man you just saw in that video, City Councilman from Rhode Island, Matthew Riley, is not a good person. So, as you just saw in that footage, Matthew was found passed out in his car with a crack pipe in his lap, and it turned out that inside of that pipe was cocaine laced with fentanyl. And this video was recorded and he was arrested while he was an active city councilman. But just a month after that arrest, Matthew Riley was arrested again and charged with the molestation of a 12-year-old girl. Now, this was all back in 2023, and it would take about a year for more developments to come, but in June of 2024, he was indicted on multiple child molestation counts. I'm just going to read you what he was indicted on. 2 counts of first-degree child molestation, 2 counts of second-degree child molestation, 1 count of enticement of a minor child to engage in sexual conduct, and 1 count of simple assault. And all of these crimes were said to occur in the town of Cranston, where he was serving as a city council member on May 7th, 2023. I don't have any real updates as to what happened here since this all went down in June of this year, but I think it's safe to say that this guy should be nowhere near a position of power in the government, let alone anywhere near a child. If you want to join me on my journey exposing government corruption, listen to my new podcast, The Conspiracy Files.
And that's Colin Brown from the Paranormal Files. But yeah, he also does The Conspiracy Files. And I believe he does that with his wife, Courtney. But they do a really good job on this stuff. And he does deep dives. And it makes me wonder, like, what his history is, because a lot of these deep dives that he's been doing is about pedophiles and, you know, molestation. You can't say certain things on the tube of you, but yeah, makes you wonder. But I'm glad he's doing it, because a lot of this stuff is covered up forever. Makes you wonder where everybody's, you know, morals and such are.
Our next missing Ozarks girl is Morgan Nick. Morgan was actually my first missing person. I was just a little older than her when she was kidnapped. Morgan's disappearance caused parents all across Arkansas to become extra protective, extra watchful of their kids. Because what happened on the night of June 6, 1995 is every parent's worst nightmare. It was a Friday night, and 6-year-old Morgan and her mom left their home in Ozark, Arkansas to attend a Little League game
I live there.
in Alma. And that ballpark was downtown Alma, right off Main Street. Morgan spent most of the night in the bleachers with her mom, but there were other kids there running around, playing. And towards the end of the game, they asked her if she wanted to go catch fireflies. Her mom said that she could go. So she gave her mom a big hug and she ran off to play with her friends. Colleen, her mother, turned and watched the kids for a minute and then returned to watching the game. And the kids were playing in a parking area off to the side. It was kind of up on a hill but overlooking the ballpark. And there was a little sand pile up there that all the kids were playing in. And as the game ended, all the kids came back down the hill. But Morgan stopped near her mom's car to sit and empty sand from her shoes. That was about 10:45 p.m. and it was the last time anyone ever saw her. Police received the call about a missing child at approximately 11:07 p.m. And there happened to be an officer nearby, and he arrived on the scene in 6 minutes. The 2 children that she'd been playing with were a boy and a girl ages 10 and 8. And they told police that they'd seen a man in the parking lot. But it was initially reported that there had also been a short interaction between this man and these kids. Apparently, he just said something to them about not breaking a glass bottle, or getting onto them for breaking a glass bottle, saying the glass could hurt someone. A short, odd interaction, but one that's not widely talked about anymore. The kids described this man as creepy. And according to a documentary that's on Hulu now called Still Missing Morgan, which we will refer to often, the suspect was described as a white male with a scruffy beard and wearing an open shirt, and that he had some chest and stomach hair. But the original description that was circulated in the newspapers describes him as 6 feet tall, of medium to solid build, with a mustache and maybe a short beard, with black curly hair with gray in it. The age was...
Stories like this make you not want to let your kids do anything, but at the same time, you gotta let them, or else they're going to take off and do it anyways. It's better to know where they're at, where they're going, than for them not to share that with you.
Not specified, but it was generally estimated to be within 25 and 45. Kids aren't good at telling age, so basically just an adult male. And a few sketches based on these general descriptions were given out over time. This one is the most commonly seen one, but this one was often circulated as well. What's always been agreed upon is that he was driving a dull red truck with a camper shell that didn't fit quite right. And police collected photos and videos from the ballpark that day and were able to catch a shot of this supposed truck. This truck was initially declared a Ford, and that is the description that was widely circulated of the vehicle. Though in that documentary, do mention a news report that came out at one point point. It claimed that this photo of the truck and the camper was actually a Mazda being driven by a parent at the ballpark. But the old
That is
police
not a
chief
Mazda.
who was in charge during this time didn't remember that report, didn't know why that was released, and didn't know which agency cleared that information to be released, as their police department has no record of
Mazdas
the
are
parent
small
associated
unless
with
they
the
were
red
big
truck.
back in the
Upon
day.
close
And
examination,
also, like, could this be a Mazda in front of the truck that was carrying the camper? I don't know.
there is a lot of weirdness surrounding this case. The documentary that was released in 2023 heavily features the new police chief, who was appointed in 2019 after the previous chief retired. He spoke in the documentary of several sightings of the man in the red truck on the same day that Morgan disappeared. One was a teen girl who was walking along the road when the truck pulled over and asked her if she wanted a ride to downtown Alma. Another were two little girls, ages 5 and 6, who ran inside screaming for their mom, who noticed a red truck pulling away. Downtown, two teen boys were walking down Main Street when they were yelled at by a man in a red truck for being in the road. And they actually watched the truck pull onto Walnut Street, where the ballpark is. Then two 10-year-old boys who were riding bikes were yelled at by a man in a red truck for also being in the road. There were also 2 other reported sightings in this same area around the ballpark. And one of those actually resulted in this photo, which was taken in between 5 and 7. The reported sighting after. Within 10 minutes of her abduction, a group of teens near the river saw a red truck and what they thought appeared to be a man holding a child down on the bench seat. After hearing about Morgan, they called it in, and they tried to take police there the next
Finally
day.
got him.
But unfortunately, there had been heavy rains that resulted in significant flooding, and they couldn't even reach the spot. But throughout the entire documentary, there is a very heavy focus on one particular subject.
Okay, so when was this picture taken? Because he somewhat resembles the first picture, but the second picture, remember the guy's eyes? Totally looks more like him.
Billy Jack Links, a 70-year-old man who was arrested after attempting to abduct a 11-year-old girl in Van Buren, which is just right there, in September of 1955, only 3 months after Morgan. He was talking to a group of kids at the local Sonic, which was an 11-year-old girl and a couple of boys. And he tried to actually bribe the boys to leave with dollar bills, then followed these kids after they left the Sonic, still trying to get the boys to leave the girl and trying to get the girl to leave with him. He apparently made some type of sexual remark to her because it scared her. And all the kids ran for the Sonic, and one of the employees called the police. Links fled the scene, but he actually hit a utility pole on the way out. So they caught him, he was arrested, and he was actually on parole at the time for the repeated essay of a family member under the age of 14. And that occurred in 1992. So after the attempted abduction, he was sentenced to 6 years in prison. And he died there in the year 2000, about a year before he was supposed to be released. The truck Links was in was a faded red Chevy that allegedly used to have a camper shell. And after his arrest, it had been sent to the Arkansas State Crime Lab in Little Rock. Then, allegedly, it sat in the police impound for several decades before it was eventually auctioned off. During the filming of that documentary, they tracked down the new owner of this truck, and they processed the truck again in July of 2020. And they claimed that after removing the original flooring, they found a blonde hair underneath, which was sent to an FBI forensics lab for testing. And it was concluded that no DNA could be pulled from any of the evidence because it had been 25 years and the DNA had broken down. They also ran a trace evidence test, which came back inconclusive. But then one last test matched microscopic fibers, blue-green cotton fibers that matched the Girl Scout shirt that Morgan had been wearing. Obviously, they didn't have Morgan's shirt. This was one just like it. This information was released in 2023, and Billy Jack Links was named a main suspect. A search was done of his property, and they did dig around there, but nothing was found there. Then, just recently,
It's not going to bury anything on his
a
property.
press conference was held about Morgan's case. The police chief called Links a early person of interest in the case after the attempted abduction in Van Buren, even though at the time it is clearly stated that police did not believe the case was related to Morgan Nick, and that there were some similarities, but that there is nothing there that would tie it to the Nick case. It is possible they just released that at the time in order to not give away their suspects, I suppose. But the police did say that he had been questioned at that time, but that he denied any knowledge of Morgan's abduction and that he appeared truthful, because criminals are definitely known for their honesty. Though it was not mentioned in the press conference, it's also said that they did give him a polygraph.
He couldn't be like a psychopath or sociopath or whatever, people that are really, really good at manipulation and lying, etc.
Test at one point, but that he passed that. But ultimately, the police announced.
And also, you can pass lie detector tests. My uncle passed one when it came to breaking into a grocery store. You know, he got stoned, went to the grocery store to get some munchies that was closed, so he crawled up on the roof and came down through the ceiling and then got stuck. I don't know why they gave him a lie detector test on that, but they did, and he passed it. So that's why it's not admissible in court. Lie detector tests don't stand up in court because they're not accurate enough. But they do work, I would say, 98% of the time.
That in December
Maybe
2023,
97.
evidence was sent by the FBI to Ortham Labs in Texas. And in September 2024, it was determined that DNA evidence was a match to Colleen, Morgan's mom, and strongly indicated that Morgan had been in that truck. So now, Billy Jack Links, deceased, is being declared responsible for the abduction of Morgan Nick, a seemingly miraculous answer to a 29-year-old cold case. While I am a believer in miracles, I have a problem with this. I've got some questions, if you will. Some things that just don't make sense. But because this is such a long case, we're going to have to talk about that in part 2. Our next missing Ozarks girl is...
Well, I'm just wondering, too, like, if you couldn't pull DNA or any sort of thing like that from the hair, where did you get this DNA? Could it have been something that looked like blood? That would still break down, especially, I don't know if you've been to Arkansas, it's pretty hot, pretty humid. And that was 28 years. I don't know. Where did they get this DNA evidence? I gotta watch this movie now. Missing Morgan. I can't remember if they said Hulu or Netflix. Probably Hulu, because I ain't got it.
You gotta repent, sir. You gotta repent, sir, from babies.
Why?
Because it's a sin before God.
Why?
Wow.
Stinky breath.
Yeah,
Why?
that's pretty evil of you, sir.
Yeah, I am.
And I hope and pray that you...
Yeah.
Well, that's what you do to babies, huh?
Yeah, I love it.
You love it, huh?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I hope that you come to Christ, sir.
Oh, I never go to Christ.
I hope that you come to Christ,
No,
sir.
I don't go to Christ.
Yeah,
I don't listen to Christ.
You will have a darkened heart, sir.
I do have a darkened heart. Yeah.
You have a darkened heart.
I do very, very much so.
And you will stand before God in judgment
Yes,
day.
I will. Every day.
You will stand before God in judgment
Yes,
day.
I will. Every day.
All of the babies that
I
you
love
have
it.
killed.
I love it.
Yeah, keep tearing the babies
Yeah,
apart.
I will.
Keep tearing the babies
I
apart.
will.
Keep tearing the babies apart. Yeah, sir. The babies, their blood screams from the ground.
This has to be full demonic possession. I mean, even if the person is just triggered and acting that way, there is something compelling someone to act with such evil and disregard to human life. I want to know your guys' honest opinion of this video.
Better repent, sir.
I've actually never had anybody give me this kind of a comment before, so thank you very much. It's a good comment. I mean, waste of time. I mean, that's your opinion, and I respect that. But have I ever detained a spirit? Like, do you mean like in the Ghostbusters? Like, detained a spirit? I have not. I've gotten some attachments before. I've gotten some really cool EVPs before. I've seen a lot of shadow figures, but actually capturing a spirit, no. I've got some photo evidence. If you want to see that, you can go check out some of my other videos. The second part of your comment is what I would like to speak to you about. Have I ever learned anything of significant value, right? That's what you're wanting to know, that I didn't know already before. So for me, and I'm only speaking for the evidence that I've captured, the interactions that I've had, I can tell you for the most part, spirits are going to be one of three things. They're either going to be very angry, they're going to be very sad, or they're going to be very confused. And there's a lot of people commenting on this video saying they're terrified and being sarcastic. I get that. But the reason why I'm saying that this is the most terrifying EVP that I've ever captured is that I've never heard a spirit laugh, ever. This is a hobby of mine, but it's a passion of mine as well. So when I'm out investigating the paranormal, I take it very seriously. There's ghost hunters and there's paranormal investigators. I consider myself a paranormal investigator because I go in with the mindset of debunking first. I'm not just out there to have a good time. My approach is we are going to run experiments to see if we can have that same thing happen over and over again, Or if it's a different scenario versus this, are we getting evidence in this particular way or that particular way? Or what may be causing whatever this is happening? Is it natural? Is it supernatural? To hear laughter come through when it's just me in a space, that has never happened before. So for me, it's something that I've never experienced. And having already said that spirits are one of three things, laughter is something that I don't expect to hear. So that's why, for me, it is creepy. It is unnatural. So if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so very much. I appreciate the comment. I wish you a great day. Love you. Bye.
Bye. I thought it was the ghost ad, but I saw a long word at the end. I couldn't tell what it was.
No, you didn't. Even if it sounds like a familiar voice, no, you didn't.
What are you supposed to do if you're in danger in a forest and trying to get someone's attention?
If you're lost or in danger, the rule is simple. Stay calm and shout for help in intervals. A call for help should be loud, clear, and spaced, screaming once every few minutes.
If something's screaming.
Like, I'm a woman. If I start screaming, they're gonna think that's a bobcat. It's not just screams that's a big deal.
No, you don't. Turn around. Walk away. Look away.
So they're gonna back away slowly. That's not helpful.
Stories where people said they hear a woman or a baby in distress.
Here's where things get eerie. Some hikers report strange echoes, distant calls that mimic cries for help but lead to nowhere. Others have warned against following voices off the trail, fearing it's not always someone calling. So, if you hear a scream, listen carefully, but be cautious. Sometimes the mountains call back.
So I saw a video earlier, and it was sad because it goes along with, like, you hear someone calling for help or whatnot, don't go. It's like a ghost or an elemental or something like that. Skinwalker, whatever else name you want to put on it. It was somebody up on a hill, and they're hearing somebody calling for help, and they look down, and it's this poor little old lady walking along this desolate road with her walking stick, her cane, and her handbag, just calling for help. Sometimes people really need help, so I'm glad that one person did call the police and let them know. I'm sad that they didn't find anything, but it's best to get a hold of somebody and let them know, I heard somebody calling for help out here. Let them know the location. Hopefully you can geotag it or whatever, but it's not always something bad. It's not always something good either. I hate to be the one calling for help and be ignored because they think I'm a banshee or a ghost or a skinwalker.
When I die, I want my last words to be, I did it.
When they come to one of my parties, this is what happens to them. I put them to sleep. Yeah, put the drink on the table.
No, people don't really know me. Who is this person, the Sean Combs, that we don't know? We have yet to find out. Believe me, I got an action-packed ending for you.
It's a little kinky, but check it out. You need a lot of heat. A lot of heat. Yeah. Heat. You mean that physically the place has to be hot? You don't have no air conditioning. No air conditioning. No. Why is that? Heat affects the alcohol, and it also affects, like, everybody gets a little bit more comfortable and loose. Builds up a nice little sweat. Oh, people start getting gets kind of sexy. Is that what you're saying? Yeah,
and I want to apologize for not sweating, but I do this so much. I'm so cool. I just want y'all to see everybody I'm interviewing is sweating. I'm not even touching my brow. I'm so cool, and I want to apologize. I ain't trying to make you look bad.
Hey, you're bad.
What you gotta say now? You ain't got shit to say.
What is that?
Let me put your girl on this. There's a lot of fucking going on in the entertainment industry. I died.
Yeah, Pete Diddler. I'm glad they did something about that guy. Anyways, it's time for our first music break. On this break, we have Mr. Jeff Hilliard. He's got a lot of new songs out, winning more awards, not just for the songs, but for the videos. Please go check him out on YouTube. In the meantime, here's a little bit of his brilliance. We have him singing Multitude, Silicone Wave, Finger Bang Your Day, Consensual Sex Van, and Cockpit Hills, you guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music break.
When your life is a never-ending train wreck, and you feel like you're drowning in a sea of regret, with a bit of oppression pressing down on your neck, it hurts so bad. When your overwhelming hatred kills your heart's desire, and reality starts looking like a dumpster fire, you start bitching to me, but you're preaching to the choir. You don't need to be so mad, 'cause sometimes we hurt, sometimes we cry, sometimes we're sure there's no reason to try. When the whole world goes completely insane, open your heart, stand up and sing. I'm gonna finger bang my day. Yeah, yeah, I'll finger bang my day. That's right. You gotta make the choice to give it all you've got, and make your day long with pleasure, really make it hot. Because your day deserves a lover that pulls out the stops. Come on, it's not so hard. 'Cause sometimes we hurt, sometimes we cry, sometimes we're sure there's no reason to try. When the whole world blows up in our face, what else could we do but stand up and sing? I'm gonna finger bang my day. Yeah, yeah, finger bang my day.
Hey, what are we really doing? We can't live in a world that has this much hate. We have to get honest with ourselves. We have to take stock in what our part is in all of this madness. We have to let go. And we focus on giving love, setting that intention. And each and every single one of us gets up every day with the intention to give love. And we do it. We go out there and we give love every single day. Each one of us gets out there and makes love to our day. Giving our day a multiple orgasm. The whole world will be orgasmic for the rest of eternity.
Sometimes we hurt, sometimes we cry, sometimes we're sure there's no reason to try. When the whole world is fucking insane, we open our hearts, stand up and sing. I'm gonna finger bang my day. Finger bang my day. Finger bang my day. Let's open our hearts, stand up and sing. I'm gonna finger bang my day. Yeah, yeah. Finger bang my day.
I got molar moves, got that molar too. You think it's wrong? I could've had too long. Fuck that. Check these molar moves. You need a molar too. I can do no wrong. Back of the head long, never gonna cut it.
All these hookers sweet on me. Look at them chasing me, showing me that ass. And I bag up to snatch. I do this shit for free. Go down your mama till 3. She's taking selfies with the mullet like it's history. How can I maneuver you with that pussy, dude? You sit like Buddha waiting on it to come to you. My lines are straight to the point. She shows me gratitude. So what's your latitude? Let's adjust your attitude. Head with a alligator, double dually Lamborghini, all up in a silly little yellow polka dot bikini.
I got molar moves, I got that molar too. You think it's wrong? Back of the head too long. Fuck that.
Head with a alligator, double dually Lamborghini, all up in a silly little yellow polka dot bikini.
Check these molar
couch like a rolling genie. These moves are hot, these locks I got. This power cannot be disputed and it can't be bought. So you can find me in the studio with all these thoughts. You wanna buy my style, but you can't be what you're not, neighbor.
I got more than moves, I got that multitude. You think it's wrong? Back of the head too long, fuck that. Check these molar moves, you need a multitude. I can do no wrong, back of the head long, you're gonna cut it.
nothing but an ungrateful, unworthy sinner. You're gonna go on the rest of your life when I get fired! What makes you think you deserve it? What makes you think you have earned it? I know you need it. Won't you kill for me? I know you want it. Would you die for me? You got no choice, no way to conceal the only thing that makes you feel. I'm gonna rock the carpet heel. I'm gonna rock the carpet heel. You're desperate and pathetic, nothing but a coward. You're a fool with nothing to offer. No one will ever believe you. They see you for what you are. You're just a fraud, a shell of a person. And now the power and fear of penetrate the demon that has you. I enslave you into the depths of hate. I am the son of a